Hello. Yeah, okay. Truthfully, the title was somewhat of a lie. This is like entirely pre-recorded, and I'm just talking over it. So yeah, I want to build a frog light farm, right? In my hardcore world, and I just thought that I would talk about something like mildly serious, while showing off just a cool little thing I made in my world. So, anyways, just gonna jump right into it. So, there was one time where I really liked a girl, and I'm gonna tell this whole story because I think the whole story is like I don't know. I'm sure someone could learn from it. So first of all, we meet at a um, I would say like a Bible study, but it's like it is a I don't know. Is it? I don't really know how to like categorize. It's like a college ministry. That's what it's called. Okay, yeah. So we meet at a college ministry, and what happened was I was like just kind of sitting there like on the floor just hanging out with people, and then I see someone just like walk in the room. All right, and it was like kind of after everyone like already got there, and we were just like hanging out chatting. So like she was like kind of late, but like not really. But anyways, I'm sitting on the floor, and I look up and I see her, and I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm gonna be like obsessed with her for however long, and that is not something I want to deal with right now because like remember like this is at a time where it's like this was just a few months after I had gotten broken up with, and so I didn't want to like jump right back into romance. I knew that I wanted like I don't really know like 6 months I think it was, and I like eventually changed it to a year or something. But anyways, so I see her instantly like infatuated, right? And so I say, okay, I'm gonna like give it a little bit. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of time to, at the very least, get to know her. Just to say like, okay, if she hates me, I'm not gonna like try and make her uncomfortable or anything, right? And so a few like weeks go by, and then nothing really happens. I talk to her and she's chill, and eventually she starts volunteering at a different college ministry every Thursday. Right now, just for some background information, this group met on Thursdays, right? And I would be able to go like one like at this point I think it was like once a month or something like that. I can't quite remember. Just because like it's held in like a different city than where I go to school in, so I'm not like always able to be there for stuff, right? So I get to see her about once a month, and then when she starts volunteering on something every Thursday, now that once a month goes to like 3 times a year. Now the group does also meet on Mondays for other stuff. However, uh, I can't go there because I'm out of town for school, right? And so, okay, why? Okay, there's like a weird audio delay on the whatever. You guys are adults, you can deal with it. Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so at this point, like I'm barely like seeing her, but I'm still staying like kind of motivated, right? So I start like kind of locking in. I start getting in shape a little bit. By getting in shape, I mean not being disgustingly fat, but like just working on it. I start working out a little more often. I end up getting a gym membership later. I start doing a diet called one meal a day. It's exactly what it sounds like. I could make like a whole video on that stuff, but like honestly, okay. It's I just saw the chat. What am I yapping about? I completely forgot about that. Uh, anyways, so I go on like one meal a day, and like it sounds like I'm starving myself. I'm not. I promise you, that's not what it's about. Um, the thing is, like I don't really eat that much anyways. Just because of like oh my gosh, I take like a medicine that's a stimulant. It's like it's ADHD medicine, right? So it's a stimulant. It makes me like less hungry throughout the day. Whatever. I'm getting off topic here. Okay. Anyways, I start doing one meal a day. Like I lose a good like 20 pounds from it, and it stays off for the most part. I think I ended up gaining back like 5 pounds of that, which is whatever. That's not like a huge deal. Um, so I'm locking in. I'm kind of getting ready to ask her out. I'm a prepper. I don't just ask out someone having known them for like I don't know a month or whatever. You know, I wanted to take my time to get ready because if someone's whatever, I don't need to explain all that. Never mind. Um, so anyways, let's see. So then eventually, uh, oh my gosh, I forgot to mention. So she also works at like a summer camp, right? So I did not even get to see her like on like in the summer either. Like whenever I was like, you know, out of school and just like in town. So she worked at a summer camp, but eventually she comes back, right? Like near the very end of summer. And so uh I I kind of like take the opportunity to like just talk to her a little more. Um, but like whenever she first like came back and like she first walked in the door, whenever she came back, I was just like sitting there, just like kind of staring into space, I guess. And like she like comes up to me and says like, "Hey, how's your summer going?" Like, and I'm just like completely caught off guard that a girl I like is talking to me voluntarily. Like that was kind of just odd to me, and like she wasn't just like saying that like obligatory or whatever. Like she actually seemed interested, right? And so I mean I know that does not mean anything like romantic interest, but like it gave me just a little bit of hope, you know, because I'm thinking like she's like way out of my league. She's blah blah whatever, and she's like talking to me just because she feels like it, and I kind of like I was being very stupid. To be clear, I know I was being very stupid and delusional. Yes, um, but like it doesn't change the fact that it's like okay, she doesn't hate me. She's at least somewhat interested in the things that go on in my life. Like okay, that's a win in and of itself. Um, but anyways, the summer ends. I go back to school. I kind of get back into the routine. At this point, I'm actually like visiting the group like I think like twice a month or something like that. And again, she's volunteering elsewhere, so she's not where I am. So I still don't really get to see her, but like she's still like kind of in the back of my mind. Even when I was doing like online dating, which I do kind of want to make a video on that eventually as well because I think that's a really interesting topic. Um, but anyways, I was just always like kind of thinking about her, even if I didn't really get to see her very often, right? Um, and that's kind of carries on for like the next year. We are working with a very long timeline here. Uh, so after like a year or so, we're going on this retreat. That's in like a beach in Texas. It's really nice. I really enjoy it. And so I get added to like a group chat for it because I signed up and everything, and then I see who else is in the group chat but the girl I like, right? And so I get like like a little excited, a little nervous. At this point, I'm thinking like, okay, if I don't ask her out like soon, then there's nothing I can really do. I'm gonna have like waited too long, and it's just not gonna be good, right? So I decide that by the end of the trip, I'm gonna ask her out, no matter what. Um, and like the thing is that seems like I'm gonna ask her out during the trip. No, I'm not. Don't worry. I I ended up waiting until the very end, but we'll get to that eventually. So on the trip, she's like, she's not like completely like disinterested in me, but at the same time, not like actively seeking me out, right? Um, we hang out and do whatever stuff with like a group of friends, right? Um, and at one point, I'm just like talking to this guy on the beach, right? And so we're talking about like dating and stuff and how hard it is to to find someone sometimes, right? And so I say something along the lines of I wish like there was people at school that I liked because that would just make it easy. And he said, "Oh, well, why don't you like them at school?" And I'm like, "Ah, well, they're Like, you know, I don't really know how to say this. They're like super super short. I don't know why. The people in like at school on campus are like always like I don't know like 5'3" and under, and that's not my type, right? And so yeah, I'm talking about this, and then the girl I like. Oh, keep in mind she's like a good I don't know 5 or so inches taller than me. She says, "Oh, so you like tall girls?" She just says it. Like what do I like? How do I respond to that? I kind of I kind of panicked a little bit, and I said like I thought like okay, there's three things I can say here, right? I can either ignore her, which is rude, and I don't want to do that, even like regardless of whether or not I like her. It's just rude to do that, so I'm not gonna ignore her. Two, I can like lie to her and say no, and make her feel even more like self-conscious about something that she's already like she's already voiced her insecurities about that kind of stuff to me, right? And three, I can just say yes and hope that she just brushes it off as nothing. And so I decided to say yes. I say yes, that is my type. I'd say like kind of like begrudgingly and just kind of like just kind of trying to like brush it off. And I think she kind of caught the hint and just like dropped it after that. She didn't want to make things more awkward than they are at this point for me, which I'm very grateful for. Um, but anyways, we head back in, and like at some point, like some of my friends are like hanging out and just doing whatever on I can't remember where this was. I think it was on like the beach or something. I was like kind of sitting by myself, and she came up to me and said like, "Hey, we're hanging out. You want to like hang out with us?" And then like at this point, I'm kind of dumbfounded a little bit. I don't know what's going on, right? So either she somehow did not pick up that I like her, and she just like I don't know, just treat me like a normal person, or she picked up on me liking her and like was I don't know not flirting with me, but like wanting to spend more time with me for whatever reason, right? And so I'm thinking like, oh, like she either like likes me or she just doesn't know that I like her, which we'll see eventually that this is not the case. Neither of those are true at all. Um, and so I like get back. Oh no, what am I saying? Oh my gosh. So we end up having we had a good time at the retreat. It was very fun. I liked it. Um, and so we end up heading back like at the end of the week. And, it's a good like 6 hour road trip I think. And so the whole time I'm just like sitting there like nervous out of my mind about asking her out, right? And so I think like it's now or never. She's literally walking to her car to go home, and I have like 5 minutes to collect myself and go ask her out. And so I do that. I walk up to her and say, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" And the most terrifying thing happens. She says, "Yeah, sure, you can talk to me anytime." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she knows, and she's gonna say no. I guarantee you." And so I go to ask her out, and she gives a whole like, "Hey, I think you're a really nice guy," but and blah blah blah. Like the normal damage control stuff that I've heard X amount of times. Um, and so, but like one thing she says is like, "Hey, this does not change how I see you. You're still my friend." Blah blah blah. Blah. And that's why I'm like, okay. I mean, she's known me for years, and like we've had conversations before, you know, and I'm thinking like, okay, she does have a good judge of my character, right? So it is reasonable to think that she's telling the truth, at least some kernel of truth, at least. Like she doesn't hate me, and it's like, okay, I guess that makes me feel a little better, but I mean, it still sucks getting rejected at all, right? Um, but yeah, and I do think that everyone at some point should learn a how to reject and b how to be rejected. I think she did a good enough job rejecting me in a way where like it didn't destroy me. Like in all fairness, I'm perfectly fine. Like I'm chill about the situation. It happened not super long ago. Um, but I think it's important to know, first of all, whenever you reject someone, you have to be careful, right? Don't just like lie to do damage control. Don't like say, "Oh, I think you're a really sweet guy. I think blah blah. I think you'll find." Don't do that. It just kind of hurts more than anything. Um, it just makes it feel like we have to be handled, and no one likes that feeling. Especially if you clearly don't know the person very well, then it just seems like you're lying to make them feel better about themselves, and it's not good. Like from the perspective of someone who's been rejected several times and has had that happen, it doesn't feel good at all. But what you should do is like you just be like honest. You can just say something like, "Hey, I don't see you that way," and that's fine. Leave it at that. It's all good. You know, you don't owe them anything. You don't have to do whatever, right? Um, but like don't be rude about it. Definitely don't like laugh or whatever, like don't act like he's joking. That's like the worst thing you could possibly do. Now, as far as being rejected, I think that's honestly like it just kind of depends on the situation. Just first of all, I mean, don't treat it like it's some personal attack because it's not, right? You can like someone as a person, just generally as a friend or whatever, and just not want to date them, and that's perfectly fine. You don't wanna be with someone who doesn't like you like that, just as much as you wouldn't want to be with someone who doesn't like you. Oh, you would not want to be with someone who doesn't like you just as much as you probably don't want to be with someone you don't like. You know, um, and just like know that I it's my least favorite piece of advice ever. Like the whole "there's plenty of fish in the sea." Obviously it's not like actually true. There's X amount of fish in the sea, sure, but like all the fish are different. It's like, but at the same time, it's like yeah, there's going to be someone like guaranteed. You know, um, and like as far as like me getting rejected, it was kind of weird, right? At first, like I was really upset at first, because it felt like I had like worked for 2 years. I guess I should have mentioned that that's the the time span, 2 years, right, of just like working out, trying to improve myself, trying to do whatever, 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 and just to be told no at the end. It kind of felt like 2 years down the drain. But then I kind of realized like hold up, like I didn't just gain back like 40 pounds or whatever. I didn't just like completely lose myself the second she said no. Like no, like I made legitimate progress that I'm proud of, and it worked out. For me at least. I'm healthier than I was before. I'm in a better headspace. And it's just like the only time that was really wasted, I would say, was like the 30-second conversation of asking her out, and that's it. Like there wasn't really that much that was straight up lost. I mean, it's not like I was dating her in the first place and she broke up with me. Like it's not like that. I didn't really lose anything. And I think that's important to remember is like you're not you're not losing anything by asking someone out. Like yeah, you might get a little embarrassed. You might be a little humbled, but that's not the worst thing to happen ever, right? Um, but yeah. Um, but like after that realization, I just didn't really know how I felt. I didn't know if I was happy that I was able to gather the courage to ask someone out, or if I was, just like apathetic and like depressed, for lack of a better word. I didn't really know like how to feel. I don't know how to explain how I felt. Um, but it's like even just a day or so after, it feels like like whenever you have a dream, you wake up and you like think like wait, did I was that actually real? Like did that actually happen? And it's like you just genuinely don't like almost like you don't know. Like yeah, I mean obviously it didn't happen in a dream, but it's like it kind of feels like it did, right? That's kind of how it felt thinking about that moment of asking her out. I think maybe it was because the conversation was so short, um, or just like I don't know. Maybe it's like a weird denial thing. But I mean, it's like it's been weeks. It's been almost a month now, right? And it's like I still feel like wait, did that really happen? Did I actually do that? You know? So, yeah, I don't really know where I'm going with that. It's just like I don't really know how I feel after the fact. I mean, I'm fine. Like, I'm not in any danger. I'm chill. Um, and I have gotten like slightly concerned texts from people who know about the situation, and want to make sure I was okay. And I had to tell them like yeah, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. I'm okay. I kind of almost expected that responsive no thanks. And yeah, like she was fine. She rejected me in a fine way, a polite way, right? Um, so like, I'm fine. I'm fine. Um, but yeah. So I think that'll be it for this video. I don't really have that much else to add, and it's already 20 minutes long. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.